All right. I think we're live. Looks like it. Hey guys. My name is ShinyZeni. You can just call me Zenny. I'm going to be running Super Metroid 100% today for this wonderful event that we have going on here. Joined by me, I have Oatsngoats and TheHockeytowner on commentary.
Hello.
I'm going to
hello.
leave most of the speaking to them because this game is really hard to play and talk at the same time. And also, I've been struggling with a cough that when I speak, it gets worse. So, but yeah, go ahead, Oats and Hockey, introduce yourselves and count me off, and we'll get started.
Okay, well, I am Oatsngoats. I've been playing this game for quite some time as well. Probably not as long as Zenny, but yeah, excited to see the 100% run here in hockey.
Yeah, that's right. I am the Hockey Towner, big fan of Super Metroid, and I contribute my voice to this amazing speed game with these incredible runners. So very happy to be here.
All right, well, why don't you count us down, hockey?
You got it, Oats. You ready, Zenny?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, good luck on the run, Zenny. Like I
Good
said, we'll
luck.
try to take over most of the commentary here. This is Super Metroid 100% item collection. A lot of people get confused. They say, do you have to save the animals or do you need all the map tiles? What kind of run is it? But it is very specified as 100% item collection. So we'll be seeing all of the items grabbed in a very short manner.
Yeah, definitely emphasis on short. I'd have to agree there, Oats. Zenny is the current world record holder right now with a blistering 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 30-second run. The fastest to ever complete this category.
Yeah, and that's it's really hard to state how difficult that time is. There's only a few people with a 112, and this is a very competitive speed game. So it's very impressive to see not just a 112, but 30 seconds into a very difficult time. So we have Series Station here. Zenny setting up for a little sub-pixel shenanigan there. Series Station is just kind of a nice way to break some of the monotony. You kind of get a little mini game. We try to get records or really good times generally, but most of it's very tight movements and a lot of luck in Series Station.
Definitely a lot of luck. Zenny, unfortunately, with a little bit of bad luck there, taking some steam damage, no HP loss, but does slow him down a little bit. But into the elevator room, ooh, taking a little tumble there, no problem. Good recovery.
No.
Well, caused some issues. It's all good. 40:38. We'll pretend that is a fantastic time. A lot of people do not know, so that is excellent.
I blame hockey.
If you missed the first jump there, as you could see, it's really difficult to try to get it back because the steam is out of sync. They start to hit you down. It's off camera because the camera is moving back and forth, so you can't see where you're going. But we'll get that time back in no time at all.
Or we won't, and that's okay. We're gonna have fun.
Either way,
Well spoken, Zenny. Yeah, I will take credit for that one. The old commentary curse striking hard. But Zenny and Samus have made their way down to the surface of the planet Zebes. They're going to be checking out the first area of the game, which is Criteria. And for you Metroid 1 fans on the NES, a lot of this scenery will look familiar. They have to pass through kind of the old Mother Brain, the climb shaft from the end of the first game, as well as the actual boss room, and then down into Retro Brinstar, where we'll be collecting the very first item in the game. Super essential. It is the Morph Ball. How exciting!
Yeah, and not a lot of people realize, but this is just Metroid 1, where Zenny just passed and jumped over. That's where you first fight Mother Brain, and the room previous to that is where you escape. And in Metroid 1, you just finish at the very top. But we are back to the planet in Super Metroid.
That's right. That's right. Retro Bryn in all of its blue glory, but there is that morphing ball. One tile gaps will definitely be able to be traversed now that Zenny has that morphing ball. And before you can kind of kickstart the rest of the game, load up all the enemies and gain access to other areas of the game, he does have to pick up another essential item, which is a minor item that is the first missile pack. It does so just outside of an area of the game we call Construction Zone. So a little tricky movement here to get up and out.
So if you've played the game yourself and gotten all of the items, you might realize, hey, there's a missile door there to the right, and there are missiles there. Why don't you get those now? Well, there are also other items that you can't get until you have, let's say, power bombs, or pretty much just power bombs in this instance. So we wait until we get those items and then basically backtrack and clean up these areas later on when it's just much faster. So there's going to be a lot of that where you see skipping items, or there's a missile here, a missile there that might even be on screen. Zenny is going to avoid those entirely, essentially, and then get those later on when it's faster.
For sure, because this is 100% item collection. Zenny's going to be absolutely strapped, just loaded to the hilt with all the movement items and all the beams and weapons and ammo you could possibly see. He's now back up to the surface of Criteria, heading to the first mini-boss of the game, that is the Bomb Terizo statue. So, a little test left by the Chozo here on planet Zebes, protecting those morph ball bombs. And Oats, what is the strategy going into this fight?
Pretty much you just do not want to take the face off, is what we call it. So it's just a number of shots that you have to do. 5 shots and then a couple missiles. You collect some more missiles from the orbs that are spit out of the mouth here, and then you just hope that the RNG is good.
See Zenny taking that little hop opener there. It's just faster to do that, able to get some shots off. Great missile drops there.
Unfortunately, he did have to. Sometimes they're a little bit too grouped together and you grab all of them. You only want to grab half of the missile cluster, and then you grab the other portion of the missile cluster once you fire a few. But it was a fine fight nonetheless.
Absolutely. As Oates alluded to at the beginning, he did avoid the decapitation animation, which does cost time if you blow the face off of Bomb Terizo. But now he's back up into the parlor room, headed down to Terminator. And Oates, I've heard some differing opinions on why this room is called Terminator. It's because they'll be back? I don't know. But we
I
will
assume
be back
it's because we terminate, a lot of the items on a lot of the enemies rather on the way down, and it's all you do is hold shoot. In some strats, all you have to do is hold shoot, so it's fairly easy. Yeah, that's probably why, but who knows?
Who knows for sure. You see there that Zenny was just tanking the damage through half of those pirates using iframes to travel through them. It is faster and it saves ammo because Zenny's leaving Criteria, heading to Green Brinstar, and he needs to execute the first major sequence break of the game. But before he can do that, he needs those 5 missiles to open up a pink door. So here we see the jump through the door, a soft morph landing into a run speed keeping morph. Just very nice.
Referred to as mock ball, like Hockey was saying. This is the first major trick if you want to speedrun the game. It's pretty much the first trick that you'll learn. That's mandatory, essentially, unless you want to fight Spore Spawn, which is okay too. So since we're here, we're going to grab the reserve tank and 2 missiles, and then on the way out, we're going to do another mock ball that is a little bit more difficult on the way out.
Yeah, that short hop leaving this room is considerably harder, but like Oates said, you can fight Spore Spawn if you want to, but Zenny's also going to use a special setup to steal Spore Spawn's super missiles from behind his back. But there it is. Beautiful execution, Zenny, on that short hop mock ball.
Thank you.
That's pretty tough. Zenny makes it look easy, like almost everything in this game, but it's a lot of inputs, and the timing out of doors is very specific, so you kind of just need to get used to it. And I like how you said steal Spore Spawn's supers. Yeah, referred to that way.
What can I say, Oates?
Yeah. We're just borrowing.
We borrow, yeah. We'll return them later.
Won't even know they're gone in like another 50 minutes, or 30.
Yeah, as the planet explodes. Hey, where are my super missiles?
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example.
Spoilers, Hockey. Spoilers.
For a game that's almost 30 years old. Come on. But perfect example of skipping an item because it's faster to grab it later. There's just those missiles above charge beam. They're just like, hey, pick me up. And Zenny's like, nope, I got places to be, other items to pick up, bosses to fight. So he's into a room now called Green Hill Zone, and beautiful setup, a damage boost off of that little bug enemy through the gate. into what we call Noob Bridge. So that bridge of crumble blocks has claimed the ego of a lot of runners because you have to hold run to cross it.
Yeah, a lot of casual players don't even realize that the run button exists until they hit that bridge, and then they go, well, this is impossible. There's no way you can do this. And then they go, oh, there is a run button. So that's why it's referred to as the Noob Bridge. Yeah. We're going up to the first, well, the second other than charge, but the first actual beam here, which is Spazer.
Yeah, Spazer, I think, underrated beam, definitely makes hitting enemies easier and does more damage, but that charge beam is the real utility, the real workhorse of this run. It will triple the damage output of any one of Samus's beams, regardless of combination. But that full beam combination, which we won't see for a while, is going to be essential for fighting some of the toughest bosses.
So we're going to be heading into the first of the 4 major bosses, which is Kraid. Kraid will give us a very, very important item.
That's right. I just love that entrance. You just kind of blow down that wall with 3 supers. It's just so tight, running through, keeping your speed, making that monumental leap across into the entrance to Kraid's warehouse. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, that's one fantastic thing about this game is it suggests that you go get high jump, but just like many things, the developers had to have known that pretty much everything is obtainable without other items that are suggested. So.
For sure. So Zane's gonna be setting up here, uses that bomb to get right onto that ledge, that outcropping, to be in perfect position to execute the Kraid quick kill. He's gonna get 2 missiles off really quickly, and then once he stun locks Kraid, he's gonna be able to land those supers into Kraid's open mouth. Perfect execution, plus a little lag reduction by taking damage on the spikes there. That's as good a Kraid fight as you will ever see.
Yes, very well done.
And so, it's this Varia suit. How useful is this item?
Incredibly useful. I always say we. I'm just so used to being a part of the running. Zeni needs it to traverse all the heated areas, which is about half the game coming up with Norfair and Laura Norfair. So yes, it is a very important item required, and it also has damage reduction, which is nice.
I'm really hyped up about that spiffy paint job, though. That is some like 1998 Pontiac Aztec burnt orange. It's just hot color. This game was ahead of its time.
You're a bit older than me, so I'll just leave that up to you. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking with that color.
Oh my goodness, Oats. You're too kind. So into the janitor's closet of Kraid's warehouse, defeating those frogs and grabbing an E-tank, taking 2 E-tanks down to Norfair. This isn't going to be our last visit to Norfair, although it will be the first. Zeni's going to be cleaning up a lot of things down here in Norfair, getting some really nice items.
Yeah, one important thing that's easy to overlook is you'll see that Zeni has reserves, and those reserves have now lit up orange. As Zeni traverses all of this, it's fairly important that he gets these item pickups. A lot of these Sovas and enemies will be dropping health, and Zeni is looking for a certain number of HP later on for a trick. With Shine Spark. Shine Spark does eliminate HP in this game, unlike some of the other Metroid titles.
That's true. So resource management is incredibly important. As if just putting the inputs into the controller wasn't hard enough. You got to keep an eye on your ammo. You got to keep an eye on your health, because it could have ramifications, not now, but 15-20 minutes down the line within this run. But
yeah, that's one really difficult part to. It just all encapsulates the difficulty of the run is resource management on top of trying to execute all of these strats, as well as Zeni is doing right now. So.
Yeah, Zeni definitely playing extra sharp. His movement looks absolutely just honed to a razor's edge right now. But high jump boots pickup, that's a really essential movement item in this game. But it does make, I've heard some people describe Samus's movement with and without the high jump boots as kind of floaty. I don't know, Oats, have you heard that before?
Yeah, so one of the issues if you don't get high jump boots is speed booster. So if you get speed booster, there's the way that this game works with momentum and jump height. They made it to where if you don't have speed booster, or if you don't have high jump with speed booster, you can get tiny half jumps, so you come up short on almost every single ledge. So high jump is very, very important to have in, with speed booster, essentially. One or the other is pretty awful, to be honest.
No, for sure, for sure. Saw really nice, we call that room Bubble Mountain, and Zeni summoning Bubble Mountain with style and panache, and then through the Bat Cave, he will now be picking up the aforementioned speed booster, which not only will increase his movement speed, but he'll be able to do a plethora of tricks with it. The Shine Spark that Oats talked about, that technique is essential to this run, but also the Spike Suit, which we're not going to see for quite a while.
Yeah, Spike Suit is one of those tricks that really just polishes the run up nicely. It's a pretty difficult trick, essentially a double frame perfect trick, but I think Zeni is probably one of the more consistent runners I've seen, probably because of RBO, if I had to be honest. That run really relies on that trick. All right, we're going to be headed to the second beam of the game here. Well, third if you include charge, and that is the wave beam. One of the more essential beams that you'll probably see in most categories, honestly. It allows runners in some categories to do beam combos, but in this, it's just an insane amount of damage. Of course, we need to grab it because of 100%, but yeah, a good beam to have.
No doubt, no doubt. So yeah, just a little bit of, I guess you brought up RBO or reverse boss order, Oats. I feel like, Zeni, that was kind of like the way you broke into Super Metroid, wouldn't you say?
In terms of the community, yeah, that's true. I definitely, I always ran 100% when I was, doing it before I really entered the community. But yeah, with when I first started streaming, which was in 2017, I did 100% for like a couple months, and then I just decided I wanted to do something else, and that ended up being reverse boss order, and that's really what got some people's eyes on me. I remember one day, I sat down at my computer to start streaming, and I saw that my most recent follower was this up and comer, just really amazing guy called Oatsngoats. And anyway, that really was it was one of those moments where I was like, oh, okay, like people are noticing me now. It was interesting. So
that was my first mistake. Okay.
They say never meet your heroes, but never meet your competition, right, Oats?
Yeah. Now Zeni is one of the best players. So, and also I gotta say, I think you play better when you talk. Just the way you did bubble.
Yeah, no, I was kind of worried. I was like, let's just go for it, and yeah, whatever.
Literally gets the charge bomb drops in Bubble Mountain, just unbelievable, and perfect ice escape there using that mock ball technique underneath that closing gate, and with the ice beam now. So we've collected almost every beam in the game. The ice beam though, Oats, I feel like it's annoying to new and old runners alike, in that it doesn't just destroy the enemies, it freezes them, so it always takes an extra shot. But
right, it is essential, and it is toggled on and off in a lot of runs, which Zeni will be toggling some stuff here. But while you have it, you just got to keep it on. But it does make for some interesting strats. As you'll see in Red Tower, Zeni will utilize the ice beam to essentially just create platforms out of enemies. So.
For sure. We did see the first Shine Spark there across the bottom of Red Brinstar there, but here's the aforementioned Red Tower climb using, look at that. Oh, and a little ledge grab at the very top of Red Tower into the Hellway, using damage boosts off of those spikes. And now he'll be picking up the first power bomb pack, and that's going to be able to, Zen will be able to open orange or yellow doors with those.
Yep, very nice movement, by the way, Zeni. That was very
Thank you.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable segment. So unlike some of the other, like, of course, reverse boss order, you have to fight the 4 major bosses in reverse order, but compared to any percent, this run does, or this route does follow kind of the intended boss order. There's Kraid, Fantoon, Dragon, and Ridley before facing off with Mother Brain and Tori in the final section of the game. But Zeni is going to be leaving Brinstar for now, I'm going to pick up one more power bomb pack before heading to the wreck ship. And there's wreck ship is just chock-a-block full of exciting tricks and techniques and strategies.
Yeah, so what you just saw Zeni do, if you were paying attention, is it's really tough to even describe short charging or anything like that and blue suit keep, but basically just setting up the room with short charging, which is a trick to get blue suits or your shine spark much quicker, and then there is a way to maintain that blue suit's damage essentially to kill those enemies, reduce lag with the damage boost. A lot going on in this run that if you blink, you'll literally miss so many things happening. So
For sure.
he's just nailing all these things excellently. One trick coming up, everyone's favorite, is the ocean fly. We'll see if Zeni got it here, but I won't talk until you get it. Okay, you got it. Perfect. I don't want to jinx it, but basically just shoot the shot, open the door in a manner to where you don't hit the door, and then shine spark across the entire ocean there to the wreck ship entrance.
That was brilliant, Zeni. So good. So to the casual, to the veteran, you can obviously tell that here in the wreck ship, the lights are off, but someone's home, and that someone is Fantoon. So in order to traverse through the rest of the wreck ship, you have to defeat the boss. The map station is unavailable, although we won't be seeing that. The save station is unpowered, so if you're new to this game and you're coming to this section of the game, like, you cannot save before you fight Fantoon.
And one other thing is the spikes are also unpowered. Luckily,
that's
as
right.
You saw Zeni just traverse all of that to get those missiles. It's much faster to get them beforehand because of that, and also much less dangerous.
So a brilliant entry there, kind of like a speed mock ball using the blue suit that Oats had talked about earlier. But now we got to deal with Fantoon, and Oats, I feel like a dissertation could be written on the RNG of this boss.
Yeah. Ooh. So without saying too much, I'll let Zeni do his thing. Ooh, very, very close. Very well done, though. Okay, so Fantoon has 3 opening patterns. It is a fast, mid, or slow. Obviously, they speak for themselves in terms of how quick or how not quick they are. And Zeni got a fast and then into a slow. Essentially, this boss, there's nothing you can do about it. Nice. It was a fast, slow, fast, which was excellent to see there at the end to try to mitigate some of that loss, which would have happened. But overall, very good fights. This boss is just very frustrating to every single runner. It's a time loss if you get the bad RNG, but also the fight itself is very difficult. So to get 2 round does take quite a bit of practice and knowledge. So it's that on top of the RNG, which just makes most people rage fairly hard when they start.
For sure, Oats, for sure. So
almost
now,
had that 1 round.
That was
so
I
close.
was holding my breath. That was close. Yeah, so real quick, Zeni was going for a 1 round. You can fight the boss in just 1 round, but it is incredibly difficult. And runners didn't start going for it until very recently. Basically, just a new thing that people started going for. Once one person does it, it kind of opens Pandora's box, and then yeah.
Well spoken, Oats. Well spoken. I feel like Zeni, like, because you have the 1 round Fantoon counter up on your normal stream overlay. I feel like you kind of like brought that into vogue, and a lot more people started going for it.
Yeah, so interestingly, there's another runner called Emmett. He got his first one in a run a couple months before I did, but we both started doing it around the same time, like independently of each other. So it's pretty interesting. He has more than I do, though. I just missed the bounce here. Darn.
Shout outs to Emmett, just a absolutely formidable super Metroid speedrunner. So, Spiky Room of Death is already behind Zeni. Did miss that little hop into it, couldn't quite traverse it, but he gets to go through it again because this is a dead end leading to a Chosen statue holding an energy tank and a little horizontal bomb jump. Ooh, very nice, Zeni.
Yeah, falling there can be pretty devastating to an actual run, but luckily you got across. That is just one of the safer strats to get across without grapple. So. Right, back to the Spiky Room of Death. We were talking about health conservation earlier. This is when it's very important. So you get that E-tank, which fills you up. And this movement here needs to be very particular. You can't take too many hits. You can't press L or R on any of those platforms, or else you will fall through them, and it deals an entire E-tank of damage. And right now, Zeni needs to maintain this exact amount of HP. Any less, it gets kind of dangerous territory, and then Zeni relies more on the RNG earlier with the reserve tanks and whether or not those drops were in his favor.
So this room is called the attic, and Zeni just using a combination of ammo as well as blue suit to just decimate every enemy and unlock both the west and east doors of the attic, and now using iframes to just glitch through these robots here.
Yeah, I mean, the attic was perfect. You also got the speed keep, which is very, very hard, so very well done. And yeah, these robots can be a pain for a lot of people, but he gets through them, no problem. The reason you need to kill all of these enemies is because these doors will only unlock until all the enemies in the attic are defeated. So you clear them all the first time, open the door, move on to the right, and then that door, luckily in this game, the doors stay unlocked. So once you unlock one of the gray doors, they are unlocked for essentially the rest of the game. I believe that's the case for all of them. So
for sure, it's for sure. We're now grabbing those sky missiles at the very top of the map. A little stutter step mid-air to adjust Samus's trajectory. But now we're going to get a slight reprieve as Zeni's going to set up for, I believe, Bowling Spark to cross section known as bowling. And once he's in that Chozo statue's clutches, I think we could get a donation read. I stand corrected. I'm so sorry. He's going for something called Robot Flush and not Sparking Across. So I'm sorry. But now, take it, Pippy.
Oh my goodness. Well, I would like to, if I have a moment of y'all's time, to just give a quick reminder to all of our lovely passengers watching that, hey, this is Bear Force One, and thank you for joining us. But also for the reason why we're all here is our wonderful community member and like beloved friend and individual, Happy Bear, could really use some help with paying for medical expenses because we love a world where it costs money to be healthy. And anything anybody can give to help out this really important cause is much appreciated. So if you are enjoying the speedruns and it fits into your budget, we please ask !donate in the chat and it'll give you all you need. If it does not fit into your budget at this time, thank you for showing up anyway, and you can still help out just by hanging around, watching the stream, and hey, letting a friend know if you can.
All right, thank you so much, Pippy. So Oats, Zeni was able to get that robot flush, putting the robots in their place in those little spike pits. Very tight trick. And also now picking up the gravity suit.
yeah, I believe Zeni should have enough HP. There was a couple extra hits there in bowling, but that shouldn't be a problem, I don't believe. Oh man, yeah. He always gets this whenever I'm commentating, I suppose. Or if you just get it all the time now. I don't know, you're probably just that good. Yeah, so that was a mock ball into a one tile hole at like full speed. So no big deal. It's just an impossible trick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well,
It's all about the setup, man. It's all about the setup, okay?
About the setup. A perfect mode on top of that. Just a ringer. Okay, making that one tile gap, that's an absolute ringer right there.
All right, so getting these power bombs at the very top, and then once Zeni grabs these, he will be shooting off screen. And if you listen carefully, you will hear a door open, and that door is the door on the left side of the ship room, and that will allow Zeni to just shine spark all the way across. Zeni will also be filling up his health from his reserves, like we talked about earlier, and that will allow him to make the perfect distance. And turning off Varia, setting up for the Mother Brain fight, and some beams setting up for Meridia, so a lot going on.
Yeah, it's funny. Even the menuing in this game, while there isn't a lot of it, it does have to be precise. And Zeni filling up with those reserves just enough to end. No crash animation, just stopping in midair. And now setting up for one of the greatest tricks in this entire game.
What do we call it? Hockey?
Believe Sassy, his wife, coined the term procreation professional.
Okay. Excellent. And yeah, that trick is incredibly difficult, but he just nailed it. It would be just too daunting to explain what's going into these tricks right now, like the technicalities and the inputs required. But just believe me when I say that they're very difficult, and he's playing excellently right now. So
Yeah, that was absolutely terrific, Zenny.
we're going back down to clean up some of Green Brinstar. And that will be where we, as Hockey said earlier, we are stealing Spore Spawn Supers as well as many other items. This is probably one of my favorite segments in this run. Once, if you do it properly, it's just so smooth and it just looks so clean. So I think Zenny's going to do a great job here, and hopefully we get a good showcase.
Yeah, no question
How
about
awesome
it.
this segment is, and just the movement of this game. I think this is a perfect showcase for them.
I agree. Yeah, the movement of 100%. Like, not to take a single thing away from the other categories, but I feel like you just more is more in this case. Like, you get every room, almost every room. You get every item. It's just really spellbinding stuff. And we are going to be seeing our friends, the Edicoons. They teach, quote unquote, the newcomer to this game how to wall jump. I don't know how effective their instruction is. A lot of people describe them as mocking Samus or the player by their ability to wall jump, but I don't know.
One thing
Jury's
I find
still out on that
very
one.
cruel is there's a save station right there. So as you fall, you go, okay, I may as well just check this room out. As a casual player, you save because it's right there, and then you are forced to learn how to wall jump in a very cruel manner. So yeah,
The only way to leave.
I suppose.
But Zenny, you know, a veteran of this game, very, very tight, clean wall jumps, is completely leaving the poor Edicoons in the dust. Didn't even get a chance. We're now headed back to a room called Big Pink in Pink Brinstar, where there's gonna, like Oat said, there's gonna be a lot of crazy movement in here. Oh, nice save, Zenny.
That Hopper likes to bonk you if you take too long.
So a little diagonal shine spark to get up here. Now going into a room called Mission Impossible.
That was a very particular setup there. It's where you get the proper jump heights, quick drop, you buffer jump and wall jump from the block. Excellent job.
Oh my gosh. Looking like Ethan Hunt is zipping back up into that ventilation shaft. Just like in Mission Impossible, you love to see it. Dealing with some side hoppers to pick up the Wavegate E-Tank. And then, and only then, will we steal those super missiles from behind Spore Spawn's back.
You won't even know they're missing. I think he's chained to the ceiling.
Just swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
But the setup for it, I think, is kind of interesting. Drop the power bomb and just get on the perfect pixel, launch the super missile, destroy the super missile block, and you're done.
So
in 3 easy steps.
And you, if you're a casual player and you watch that, and you're like, "Oh, it's that easy. I'm gonna try to set that up." It is very particular. It is a pixel specific position. Luckily, there are a couple positions that runners can use. Zenny used, I believe that's the fastest setup for it. But yeah, it is very, very precise and particular on how you actually have to set that up. So if you're trying it yourself, you might be frustrated when you realize the block is not breaking.
Has to be just right. And Zenny doing it very, very well. So there is like a little secret here. You blow open that pipe, head down to a room called Waterway. And now that Zenny does have both the gravity suit and the speed booster, he's able to move through water without any hindrance and also just break through these blocks to grab yet another E-Tank. Yeah, Zenny definitely having a terrific Brinstar cleanup right now.
Yep, and this is all setting up to head to Meridia here, which is a fairly tough segment of the game.
I'd say especially at 100%, wouldn't you, Oaks?
Yeah. I guess it's just runner preference. I don't know if Zenny likes this segment, but I absolutely despise it's basically if you miss a trick, you can lose so much time just from one single trick.
Meridia is great when it goes well.
Yeah, when it goes well.
Which is almost never.
Yeah.
It's like Haley's Comet.
Before you enter the scary part, do you have time for a quick message?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I do have a donation for you. I have $20 here from Sassy Zenny and ShinyZeni.
Hey, I know them.
Where have I heard that name before? Thank you so much for contributing to the cause.
Is there a message with that, or?
Oh no, there was no message.
Okay.
Just message is never required, but always appreciated when they're there.
Awesome.
Right on. Yeah, shout out to both Sassy and ShinyZeni. Just not only just great, Zenny, great speedrunner, but just wonderful people. I had the pleasure of meeting them both, and just very stand-up, very kind people that I love hanging out with.
Couldn't agree more. All right, so on to Mama Turtle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sentimentality aside, so you gotta get back to the game.
Yeah, back to the game here, Mama Turtle. Yeah, not too much to say, Meridia. Like I was saying, there's just some tough tricks to where if you mess up, it's significant time loss. But there are luckily setups for almost everything, and Zenny is a very experienced veteran runner, so let's hope that most of the tricks go well.
Yeah, we saw.
How do you feel about this room right here, Zenny?
How do you think I feel about it, Oats?
Very sentimental. I'm sure you love it like I do. Yeah.
Every time I do it, I'm like, that was terrible. I lost 30 frames there. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Oats and I had a battle to see who could do that room the fastest, and it turned
got
into
dirty
something
real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of tweets fired back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, the fish
it's
tank.
fun stuff. The room grinding in this game is great. It's all just little mini games and time trials. And just overall, the speed game. It's just great, and that makes it just that much more fun. It's just the little time trials and the battles you have with friends. And friendly competition.
For sure. If anybody out there in the audience world or aboard the Bear Force One, as Pippy said, if you're at all interested in speedrunning this game, you should absolutely join the Super Metroid speedrun community. Amazing, inclusive, wonderful people that all want to see each other succeed and root on each other's success. They even let me hang around.
That behemoth guy's, creeping up on my world record.
Yeah,
that's
except
right.
him. Yeah.
Gosh.
We got to pick sides whenever this happens. So.
What will I ever do if he were to beat it?
Guys are turning me into a liar. Unbelievable.
It's true. We as a community, we definitely are very supportive of each other, and we're always happy to help newcomers as well. So.
Yeah, I think most runners just want to see the game pushed, because to get to levels like this, you gotta put a lot of time into it. So we all have a lot of love and passion for the game. So it comes down to just pushing our own limits and pushing each other. So great community for sure.
No question. So we're going to see another mini boss here. This is going to be Botoon, and Zane's going to use a special beam combination. He has the charge beam, wave beam equipped, power bomb selected. Watch this setup. Look at those particles fly right into Botoon's face. 1 round finish, Zenny. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did you just start doing that setup? Or
I did.
Okay.
Just a few days ago.
Excellent.
Because the other setup doesn't work. Never works.
Yeah, sometimes it
never
doesn't.
works.
That is devastating.
Zenny pioneering, figuring out new ways to do things. Oh, so
There goes
Had
that.
to talk. Yeah.
It's all right.
yeah, just get it on the way out.
What Zenny was setting up for there was what we call the full halfie. So if you store a Shine Spark, wall jump all the way to the top, run through the room, jump in this room where Zenny is currently. At a proper height, you will shine spark all the way to that door that he just hit. It's not too much of a time loss. In actual runs, it can be a little bit devastating to the run, but not a big deal. So,
Like 10 plus seconds.
yeah,
So
and there's backups.
it's pretty bad if like you're on PB pace. Like it's kind of a run killer, but in terms of like a marathon setting, it's not a big deal.
No,
For sure. So we have the third of 4 major bosses. This is Dragon. And the setup for this one, it defies anything that I can describe. I'm going to hand it over to Oates.
yeah, it's this is kind of unique. There are a couple different ways to set up like this. Basically, you're just using these X Factor particles to just do more damage and do drag on. When the fight starts, you store a shine spark. Hits as these sparks hit and kill in 2 rounds like you just saw Zenny. I'm trying to catch up and keep up with what's going on.
It's impossible.
It's quick, yeah, it's too much. And then there is the spike suit, which is, like as I said earlier, it's essentially a double frame perfect trick. What that does is that allows Zenny to restore a shine spark. So Zenny has a spark to use anywhere, which he will be using to get across the full half of the room, except in reverse this time.
Really nice, Zenny. That was, like I said about pretty much any boss through this game, through this run today, that was as good a dragon fight as you're going to see anywhere. And to just get the shot, to get the spike suit, it's just the cherry on top. Look at that. So a little reverse full halfie there from Zenny. We'll now be heading through the rest of Meridia to pick up quite a few items still. Has to visit both of the so-called sand pits, which have some goodies down there. But I feel like the real star of Meridia is yet to come.
Yeah, so you saw that Zenny turned a couple beams back on, one of those beams being Ice Beam. Ice Beam is very important coming up for a trick to go get Spring Ball. So buffering a damage boost into that room, and then getting another little damage boost to set up for this trick. A lot going on, but basically mothballing with the blue. Then you do a blue suit keep to go through speed blocks. Yeah, a lot going on here, but Zenny doing an excellent job thus far. A couple sand pits, like Hockey said, and each of them have 2 items, so we'll have to see this area twice.
Yeah, so really there's a couple of route differences within 100%. Zenny definitely doing what is considered the fastest route, that is early Ice Beam. And as Oates said before, it's essential for this trick here. He's going to freeze an enemy and use the height of that enemy to clip through a platform that you otherwise couldn't clip through. Because then he doesn't have grapple beam. This is the only way to do this section. Perfectly
Very
done. Nice. And we'll be now gets a little break here, hanging out with Shack Tool, just digging through this sand for us.
Yep, one reason that Zenny is doing this is to set up for the Golden Threezo fight in Lower Norfair, which will allow him to basically get more super missiles for the Ridley fight. So everything is for a reason, and that reason is a faster Ridley fight, and everything kind of leads into the next strat. So
for sure, there are no islands in Super Metroid. Everything kind of weaves into itself into later parts of the run, and that's what makes it so exciting. Even the sand breaking is optimized. Like, give me a break, Zenny. I will not let this robot waste any of my time.
all right, so on the way out, and what do you know? Shack Tool exists once again. He says, "I'm back. You can't get rid of me."
Oh, it's too good.
Can you imagine if it didn't respawn?
That would be horrible. Not as horrible. What
You
happens?
want that on your
every creature
conscience?
here.
Oh my gosh. So I feel like Spring Ball, underrated item, and just completely breaks open the movement in 100%.
Yeah, Spring Ball is an excellent item for this category. It allows so many fun optimizations in a lot of these rooms.
But Zenny is just a few rooms away here from completing the full beam combination. And even getting that plasma beam, this room has some really interesting movement, really interesting optimization.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of my favorite strats. The way that you have to kill these enemies on the way out and then escape. So in order for this door to unlock, you have to eliminate all of the enemies. The game is essentially giving you a tutorial on how plasma beam works here. Just that whole setup is awesome. That whole strat. You might not even see the beams off screen because of the way the stream. I don't know if it's perfect 60 frames per second, but there are beams flying everywhere, hitting enemies everywhere, and yeah, just eliminating all the enemies there. So it's a fun strat.
So just one more sand pit to visit, and I believe Zenny will be wrapping up Meridia before heading back to Norfair, and probably one of the most challenging sections of the game.
Alrighty, back to the sand pits we go. Back down here, and then back to the left sand pit. There'll be 2 more items. Well, I believe 4 more items in Meridia that we're going to be grabbing.
Oh, right, yeah. I think I forgot about Aqueduct.
Then off to Norfair to do a little bit more cleanup. Excellent job. That is one of the spring ball strats that we utilize spring ball for that there. Basically just maintain the blue suits, which allows us to allows Zenny to go up through those speed blocks. There's a lot of inputs going on, but yeah, very flashy when done right.
But does carry some soft lock potential. But if Samus gets trapped between those speed blocks, there is no way out. But Zenny definitely handling that with grace. Down into the sand pit. What do you think? We got time for a donation or a message?
Fine with me.
If there's time, you know I am happy to fill that for you. I will remind everyone that the incentives are not over for the night. After this, we do have a Super Mario Bros. Run with Niftsky, and after that, we will be having our very own Happy Bear performing for us Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And by the start of that run, we will need to decide if we are having a Magikarp hat or a pink beanie. Now, I don't know what either of those look like, but they sound very different. They are currently only separated by $10. That's $10 for Magikarp hat. That Magikarp's in the lead. So if you are a big fan of Magikarp and you want to ensure the victory over there, or if you are alternatively a big hater of Magikarp and want no more Magikarps, be sure to get those donations in and let us know your incentive choice in your donation message. And once again, that will be closing at the start of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, so that'll be at the end of the run after this one. So you got some time, but why wait? Right?
Right on. Thanks, Pippy. Can I retroactively apply my donation to the Magikarp hat?
Yes. I can definitely let people know for that.
Thanks so much.
Would you like to read your own donation? I was gonna wait for the end of the run for you.
No, it won't be necessary. Thanks, so Pippy. So we saw Zenny return to Kraid's warehouse, grabbing that missile pack, required power bombs to have, but now he's back in Norfair, so we're gonna have to clean up Norfair and fight yet another mini boss.
Yes, and that is the Golden Frieza, as I mentioned earlier. That's the reason why Zenny was getting rid of his missiles. Golden Frieza will do some weird things if you have over 32 missiles, so we want to avoid that.
I feel like the lower Norfair section notes is, for many, many categories of this game, probably the most challenging section, but in 100%, at least you're nearly fully strapped up in terms of ammunition, beams, and movement items. but definitely some very artistic and intricate movement coming up.
Yeah, so even though you might have enough HP to survive everything, it is still a fairly difficult segment. And yeah, in a lot of other runs, you enter Lore and Warfare with little HP, so you're struggling because everything is doing a lot of damage at this point in the game. This is the last section of the game, so before Torian, of course.
Of course, but no items in Torian, which is probably a really, really good developer decision.
Yeah, probably very good considering that there's really no use for anything at that point. You can't enter, you know, you wouldn't be able to use it until the end of the game anyways.
For sure. There's probably some people that are pushing their glasses up saying like, well, conceptually it wouldn't make sense because Mother Brain built Torian, whatever.
I was still thinking that, yes.
I knew you were, Oats. I knew you were. Conceptually, lore-wise, or game dev-wise, it's a good decision to leave the items out of Torian.
Yes.
Oh, so that whole bottom platform there between the kind of the bird's beaks there is made of crumble blocks. Zeni using the space jump, chaining those spin jumps together, and now we'll be fighting Golden Torizo. So this is a powered up version of the mini boss that Zeni faced to get the bombs. But this one protects a much, much more overpowered item.
Nope. Well, farming, you can sometimes get above the 32 threshold there, and you saw that last beam attack. That is what Zeni was trying to avoid, but Zeni did get some good super missiles, and that will be utilized during the Ridley fight coming up.
For sure. And then completing the ultimate duo of items, the space jump with the screw attack. Screw attack, a very, very late game weapon in a lot of Metroid games for good reason, because it just allows Samus to plow through both enemies and obstacles in her way.
Yeah, it's a very overpowered item for sure.
Oh, wow. Just wasting no time with that Shine Spark through the door, fast pillars across the pillar room, and then into the appropriately named worst room in the game. But in this route is rendered just another room in the game. Look at Zeni go. Just flying through these vertical sections of Zebes.
It's actually one of the better rooms in 100% of the game, to be honest. The movement is always so smooth and fun, but in every other category, it is awful.
Especially low percent.
Yeah, it is a nightmare.
That's crazy.
Cool strats, but when they go wrong,
they go wrong pretty bad.
Yeah.
They go real wrong. So now into a room that's affectionately called Amphitheater. Just making short work and dropping a power bomb for lag reduction there into the red key hunter shaft here, and just showing off the utility of that space jump as well as that full beam combo. Is able to mow through some of the strongest enemies in the game. About to head down to a section called Wasteland, which itself has some really interesting movement.
One nice thing about this beam is you can kind of just go through enemies as long as you hit them right before you will be going through their hitbox, essentially. So you can utilize that.
And so here we didn't want to do this in the spiky room of death, but Zeni doing it on purpose through those platforms, using that angle up or angle down, and now gets to face off against these metal pirates. Just they're already dead. Oh, it's
what metal pirates? Yeah, they're that quick.
What
Casually,
pirates?
those are
indeed.
tough. Yeah.
What were those super drops, by the way? I get like 8 supers there.
Wow. Yeah, I think you did, actually.
What a segment, Zeni. That was absolutely inspired.
So,
oh my
don't
god.
blink here, and this fight's gonna go by very quickly.
It's gonna go real
Has
fast.
Excellent super count.
38 supers
quick
on tap. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this is gonna be this is one heck of a fast fight. Hopefully you didn't think.
There goes Ridley. So for you casual players, they're just like, oh, wow, that boss is so hard. No, not for somebody like Zeni, and not with 38 supers on tap.
And that's why trying to conserve supers and build up your super count into this is very crucial.
Oh, that was so good. Really, really nice lower Norfair, Zenny.
Thank you.
This is all part of my secret plan to get Zenny to talk as much as possible, even though he's feeling under the weather. It's nothing personal, Zenny. It's strictly business.
All good.
Cool little strat here. Gonna shine spark through this bottom platform.
Oh,
Get
that's
to the
so
top
good.
a little bit quicker.
I love that strat so much.
Taking damage for some lag reduction there, and set up for this short hop mock ball through these blocks, and yeah, there you go.
Oh my god. So back into the red key hunter shaft. Wasteland is a distant memory. And Bear Force One's own Happy Bear saying, I am in pain right now following that Ridley fight. But can you really call it a fight? It was more of just a devastation and onslaught. Zenny just laying waste to one of the toughest enemies in the game.
All right, cool little strat here. Gonna damage boost off this bug to the platform that he just froze. That's just another bug. Just using these creatures as your ways to traverse these rooms quicker. So.
Oh. Casually or speedrun wise, that Firefly room is deceptively tough. But Zenny definitely turned on the afterburners here, setting up for the Hoda Ruby special. I feel like Hoda Ruby is a definitely an old head Super Metroid runner that really turned Super Metroid speedrunning on its head many, many years ago. Immortalized with a strat named after him.
Yeah, whenever you think of a spring ball strat, that's probably what comes to mind for most people. It's the Hoda Ruby special. So. Alright, we're going to be escaping Lower Norfair back into just Norfair here. One more item to grab, and then off to a lot of cleanup.
I think it's kind of interesting too that we mentioned that cleanup Oats. Some of those items are some of the best hidden items in the entire game, and they're all kind of in the same vicinity to each other.
Yeah, I think X-Ray is probably your friend if you're casually playing this game, because there are some really weird, oddly placed items. One in particular is being Mama Turtle and Meridia, which we've already gone through. But yeah, there's just some weird item placements in the game. Luckily, X-Ray does exist for casual players, so it does help.
For sure. So Zenny about to complete the collection of reserve tanks. This will be the fourth and final reserve tank here in Norfair, having already grabbed one in each of the major areas of the game that have a boss. But you wouldn't be content to just have a reserve tank, would you, Oats?
No, you need all four.
How about a missile pack thrown on top of it, hidden inside of a platform? Yes. Like you said, X-Ray is your friend if you're playing this game casually.
Yeah, that is one of those items, yeah. Unless you're just spamming shots to kill the enemies, which is probably what how most players find that item. but still, it's oddly placed for sure.
How did you know that was my strategy? Oh, the greatest D boost in the entire game, clear across the bottom of Bubble Mountain there to grab that missile pack.
Nicely done. A pretty tough room to do right, but it did it very well. On every occasion, Bubble Mountain, so.
Yeah, no kidding. Just one more mini boss left, so Zenny's actually going to be going to one of the cooler sections, literally, of Norfair. Not a lot of superheated rooms here. We can't tell because he's got Various suit, but this is the mini boss. This is Crocomire. Crocomire doesn't expect you to have Plasma Beam right now. So Plasma Beam with its armor-piercing capability just completely destroys poor Crocomire in one shot.
Yeah, it's one of those cases to where the developers did not ever think you'd have these beams, so. Which is funny because every other item can be essentially grabbed without grapple. So you'd think that would be incorporated or assumed, but apparently not. Not for Crocomire. And another spike suit attempt there. Excellent job, first try.
Oh my gosh.
So Zenny is going to attempt to hold on to this for the next 4 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes. This is very difficult to do because if you press any input wrong, up, I believe it's, just R or up. If you shoot out of jump, if you jump when you're stationary, there's just so many different things that can make Zenny lose this, but Zenny is going to try to keep all the way to the X-ray beam in the next, what is it? I believe it's 3 to 4.5 or so minutes. So
that's just so tough to have to carry a Shine Spark for that long. But we will be getting the grapple beam, and what's a really interesting property of the grapple beam is that is the single fastest projectile in Samus's arsenal. And so as soon as Zenny gets the grapple beam, you're going to see him using this beam often to open doors, because he'll be able to open them without bonking into the door just based on the sheer speed of the grapple beam.
all right, so grapple onto just some more cleanup here. It's pretty much just all Kraid had to offer. Another missile pack, but other than that, some useless rooms. Trying to collect some supers on the way out. That's a guaranteed super drop. And grapple is not only great for opening doors, as Hockey said, the fastest projectile that also isn't limited by Samus's speed, like some of the other beams.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of the other beams are determined, their speed is determined by Samus's speed. So if you just press forward, the beam will also correlate to that speed. But grapple, obviously not being subject to that problem.
I didn't actually know that. That's really interesting, Oats.
Yeah.
The physics applies only to items not grapple beam. But about to close the door on Norfair here. I think just one more missile pack to pick up here at the Croc Escape. Just really, really nice space jumping. It's really hard to chain space jumps together when you're above the surface of the water. The space jump, you kind of get tricked by Meridia, the big underwater section of the game, into thinking space jump is this very easy thing where you can just spam the jump button. But above water, it takes very precise timing.
It's actually funny. I've never considered that as obvious as it is. The mechanics are different underwater as opposed to above water with space jump. And space jump is notoriously one of the more infuriating items to use because you'll just drop it a lot of the time. Underwater, you do not. So it is kind of, it tricks you into thinking that it's an easy to use item initially.
I feel like, yeah, in the community, I feel like space jump might be the single most polarizing item. There's nobody that just thinks it's okay. They either despise it or it is their favorite item.
Okay, so on we go to this Shine Spark, and he held it all the way from Crocomire to this point, which may seem easy because he did it with ease, but it is very difficult to do. It takes a lot of focus to not drop that, so very well done.
Absolutely terrific, Zenny. Yeah, I just can't reiterate enough how hard that is to not drop that spike suit for that entire section. And it is a pretty substantial time save to use it to get to X-ray.
Almost.
Yeah, chat saying that Zenny makes this entire game look easy. That can be said for Zenny, it can be said for any other of the all-time greats, including Oatsngoats. Just, you can really appreciate the time, effort, care, and dedication that they've put into this game. To push it to absolutely past any previous limit.
I thought you had that set up there.
Almost. Yeah, oops. I didn't pre-press jump early enough. Might have worked. It's okay though.
Yeah, Oats and Zenny commenting on probably the hardest single trick in the 100% route, which is called Reverse Slinky. It's a series of well, what is it a series of?
A series of spring ball jumps.
Spring ball jumps, thank you. Oh my gosh.
the way you have to do it is press, let go, repress, and then let go at proper heights. It's just a combination of difficult, precise inputs that most people don't even go for it. But I know Zeni has gotten it many times in runs. It's a very, very difficult trick to actually do. So.
For sure. I apologize. Hockey.exe stopped responding there temporarily.
That's okay.
But Zeni making it up into the ceiling, going over this invisible bridge, avoiding some boulders, like just inexplicably falling from the ceiling and into a room affectionately called the Billy Mays room, because you get a missile pack. But wait, there's more. It's a second missile pack. We're doing BOGO missile packs today.
All right, like I was saying earlier, this is just all of the little minor cleanup stuff, which it's just fastest to get these items with every item in the game, with screw attack and all these beams and speed boosters. So it's just a good time to grab them, good time to clean everything up, and we are almost at 100% item collection here. Just a few more to go. One nice thing about this game is if you have a shine spark going up or down an elevator, it will maintain that shine spark, so the counter does not decrease. It stays the same. So Zeni will utilize that to get across the pit room here, the old Mother Brain room, and we'll be collecting these missiles, which were hiding under Mother Brain the entire time, even in Metroid 1. What do you know?
That's awesome.
Even in Metroid 1?
Even in
must have been,
Metroid
unless they just
1?
put them there. Yeah, who knows?
That's terrific. So that item is extremely well hidden. The Billy Mays room is extremely well hidden. And finally, the climb supers. Like, who would have ever seen this coming? And just the series of movement tricks you have to do here. Freeze those booyahs, shine spark up this giant vertical section, and collide head on with that final super missile pack. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, this is another one of those you need X-ray, and I imagine that's why this is probably the only game with X-ray. A lot of odd stuff. I know in Metroid 1 you just had to suffer and hope that you find the right path by bombing everything. But this game does give you a little bit of extra help, probably because of that reason. So, all right, this is the last missile pack of the game and last item of the game. So 100% item collection. Now that means there's only one more thing to do, and that is go to Torian and face Mother Brain to set the trigger to explode the planet.
Spoilers, Oats. Oh, I already spoiled it.
Spoiled
I'm sorry.
Spore Spawn, so.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing as we didn't have a save and kill the animals incentive today, what are we doing with the animals? This is one of the things that I understand about Metroid.
I suppose that's just up to you guys. Whatever, or if Zeni wants to save them and just has a soft heart today, who knows?
I cannot save the animals without the blessing of Sassy Zeni. I will say that.
Oh
I will be in the doghouse if I save the animals without her giving the say so.
Oh my gosh.
Some irony there somewhere in the doghouse.
There's definitely some irony somewhere.
In the newly vacated doghouse, because we didn't save the
It
animals.
just opened up, yeah.
Sassy. Absolutely the F not. God, that's awesome.
There go the animals, everyone.
Yep. Don't know what you came here for, but it isn't to save the animals, apparently, or see them saved. All right, I'm going to be quiet because this is, to me, the most spellbinding part of the run, and there's no better runner at Torian than Zeni.
Yeah, so let's take a look here and admire one of the tougher movement sections of the game. So. Okay, never mind. I spoke to. I'm just kidding.
I blame hockey.
That's room number one. A little bit of a hiccup there, but
Room two, though.
That's really difficult to perform some of this stuff here.
That was
very
weird.
close, very close, but still, nonetheless, it's a fast-paced section of the game with a lot of item selecting, and you have to shoot and then instantly select supers to fire, cancel, reshoot. Very impressive section of the game. I think we jinxed you a little bit, but
That's all right.
here's another trick coming up, which is the baby skip. I'm not sure which version you're going for, but
I guess we'll find out, Oats.
yes, we will find out.
Oh, so close.
So Zeni was brave. The baby skip, Zeni could have got it, no problem, but Zeni wanted to be a little bit flashy and show off a very cool version of the baby skip, which is also very, very difficult to do. You're off by even the slightest amount, and you will get grabbed there. But essentially, that will allow you to skip that entire draining of Samus's health phase and the entire cutscene. So in a run, it is pretty unfortunate if that happens, but in the marathon setting, at least we get to see some other side of the game, which you don't see other speedrunners, have happen to them. So thanks for that, Zeni.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure what happened there. Samus broke out of the aim down pose and just kind of threw everything off, but that's okay. It's no big deal. It happens.
But Zeni will follow it up by doing, it's already over. That is the Zebetite skip, using a movement technique called a down back. Skipping that first Zebetite, that is kind of the biomechanical wall section you saw there, causes the rest of the Zebetites to not spawn, and just absolutely taking care of first phase Mother Brain there. Already down with Mother Brain 1 into Mother Brain 2, which is this strange kind of biomechanoid chicken monstrosity.
Yeah, this is a terrifying fight.
Absolutely.
As a child playing this game. Yeah. Because you don't expect this, and all of a sudden this monstrosity comes out of the ground.
And so thanks to the work of Nobody Nada, ShinyZeni himself, and Professor Schools, Zeni's going to be going for a manipulation here that's called Two Cries, and it is to get an even shorter baby cutscene after defeating Mother Brain here.
Yep, so you'll see Zeni was jumping there. That basically just eliminates the possibility of an attack that Mother Brain can do. Zeni will be doing something that's called a stand-up glitch here, taking damage from Mother Brain, standing up instantly. And if done properly, Mother Brain essentially thinks that the fight is as it should be, and this next phase in this next cutscene happens, which is this right here. The baby will latch on, and Samus still has full control.
And Zeni, for technical reasons, you're gonna have to let us know if you got Two Cries.
I did not.
What?
Nope.
You could have
Messed
said
it
yes,
up.
and I still don't even know.
Yeah, we still wouldn't have, we would have been none the wiser.
Yes, excellent
it's okay.
try there.
Been having trouble with it. Basically, the way that it works is you're trying to manipulate Mother Brain's head to move back and down earlier, but I messed it up, so it took longer.
Very precise stuff that just is just little optimizations that have been happening over the decades of speedrunning this game. So, yeah. All right. So what Zeni is doing right now is firing his charge shot into Mother Brain's head. This is actually doing damage to the third phase of Mother Brain. So you'll see Mother Brain starts to turn a different color right there. There's a shift. Now, well, Zeni will stop charging because that will have very bad consequences if that happens during the animation or getting the hyper beam. And just like that, Mother Brain is dead because of all of those charge shots. So
Really nice, Zeni. But it wouldn't be a Metroid game without an escape section.
that's right. So luckily, we're looking at the best and the escape record holder here. So we're in for a treat. That's quite the grind you had on this section for a while. So.
Oh, that was
Very
really
nice.
nice. Blue Bomber.
That's all right.
Still awesome. You got the one really tough, the blue bomber on the way up, and Yeah, a lot of little optimizations here that you've done to make this section very fast. It's hard to believe that you even got this escape time.
A little behemoth spark up the climb there, passing right through those platforms just on sheer speed into the parlor. Nothing but one door transition, and Steam RNG separates Zeni from the end of this run.
Yes, and even with all the shaking, excellent movement, and well done.
GG's, Zeni. GG's. That was
Still
terrific.
an excellent time. Wow. With that, they're very well done, Zeni. Good job.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for showing off that incredible run for all of our passengers today. Would you care to tell us where we can find you on days that are not today?
Sure,
If
yeah.
anyone wants to see more.
So I stream on Twitch most days, just twitch.tv/ShinyZeni. I have also started streaming on YouTube simultaneously since Twitch is allowing that now. You can find, and that's also just YouTube, ShinyZeni. You can also find all my PBs and some other videos on my YouTube channel. And I have a Twitter, but I don't really use it that much. So for the most part, just Twitch and YouTube. So, but yeah, thank you guys for hosting this run. Seems like the marathon has gone really well. So glad to see that, and I'm glad that I could contribute here. So thank you guys. Oats Hockey, any final words here?
Just excellent run, and thank you so much for letting us commentate for you. It was a pleasure, and yeah, it seems like the marathon has been going excellent. So thanks for letting us be a part of this.
Yeah, I definitely echo Oates' sentiments, Zeni. It's always a privilege and always a pleasure whenever you ask me to commentate for you. So I really appreciate that. And to everybody that is supporting Happy Bear and everything else, I think it's wonderful. Keep up the excellent work. And it's nice to see a community coming together for one of their own. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
All right, we can wait for the credits to roll and show 100% if you want to. If you guys do need to move on with the marathon, that's okay too. So up to you.
I believe we're waiting on word from that one, so just give us one moment. We don't have to rush off to catch our next flight just yet, so we can wait to see the grand conclusion and the big old 100%. In the meantime, for either of our co-pilots, would y'all like to tell the people where you can be found on days when we don't get to all fly together?
Go ahead, Oates.
Basically, where you can find me is just twitch.tv/ShinyZeni. Highly recommend that one.
Wow. That sounds oddly familiar.
As ShinyZeni myself, no,
Thanks.
for real though, Zeni is one of the greater runners of this game. Go follow him, and you will be entertained. So that's all I can recommend. But thank you for allowing me. But yes, yeah, go follow Zeni. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Oates.
Definitely go follow Zeni.
Oates is an incredible runner, and if you do want to watch his stream, you can probably find him with just a little searching. So
well spoken, Zeni.
all right, there's 100%. So yeah, that's a confirmed Super Metroid 100% item collection. And as the screen says, we will see you next mission. Thanks again, everybody.